Hi, I'm Barbara Johnston with Survival Supplies for You, where we specialize in emergency preparedness. Today I just want to talk with you a little bit about what happens during a disaster and the best way to be prepared for those disasters. Maybe some tips that you haven't heard before or haven't read about. The largest disasters that I've experienced were the 1971 Sylmar earthquake and the 1994 Northridge earthquake. And in the 1994 Northridge earthquake, I was pretty close to the epicenter. After that earthquake, we had no water or power for several days. And it was interesting to see how I handled it and my neighbors and friends handled it. Based on our level of preparedness, that earthquake could have been just an inconvenience versus a major catastrophe. Some things that you may not have considered is when you have no water, how are you going to bathe? How are you going to flush your toilet? I was very fortunate that I had a swimming pool, so I was able to supply water to all my neighbors so they could flush their toilets, and my pregnant neighbor was especially grateful for that. If you had no electricity for 3 days, how would you heat your home or light your home? What about cooking your refrigerator? Would all the food spoil in your refrigerator? These are things to consider. The grocery store, if it's not available, can you live off the food that's in your home now? One of the things that I saw happen during those earthquakes, and we saw happen in Hurricane Sandy last fall, is price gouging. If you don't have supplies and somebody else has those supplies, you could be willing to pay anything for what you need and to save your family. That's not a good position to be in. You don't ever want to be backed to a corner that way. One of the most valuable lessons that we learned from Hurricane Katrina was that it may take a week or longer for first responders to reach you in an emergency because they'll just be overwhelmed with the number of people that need help. If you had to be on your own for a week with no food, no power, no medical services, would your family be okay? I vividly remember the photos of the people in the stadium who had gone there thinking that they would have safety, they would receive help, and help didn't come. That was heart-wrenching. Imagine your family in that position. That's not a place you want to be. I think the first thing you think about is my family okay? And then the next thing is my house okay? And then, how am I going to get through this? In a flood, if there's standing water in your house, you don't want to walk through the water. Flood waters pick up all kinds of bacteria that could make you ill, so don't walk through the water. And I know on the news we always see people walking through the water. If you can avoid it, don't. Also remember, any food, even if it's in a can, that's gotten wet from flood water is not safe. So be sure to throw that food away. Again, anything that's gotten wet, even canned food, needs to be thrown away. It's not safe to eat. I just had a good question about what is drinkable water? What is safe water? Can I drink toilet water? Well, you can drink water from the toilet tank, but not the toilet bowl. Also, water in your water heater, if you had no water, you can drain that out and drink that water. If the water for your whole city or your water company has become contaminated, the thing to do is turn the water off at the street and then open every faucet and save that water. It's water that's good and the contamination hasn't gotten to your home yet, so you know that that water is safe. Another common misconception is that water has to be boiled to be safe to drink if it may have become contaminated, and that's not true. It just has to be pasteurized. That's 160 degrees, not the 212 degrees of boiling water. Because we have a little thing called a WAPI. It's a water pasteurization indicator, and you put it in the water, and when it's been at 160 degrees, the wax in it melts, and you know the water's safe to drink. It's a WAPI, and it's available on our website, Survival Supplies for You. Everything that we've talked about here is available in the blogs that we do on our website. Our website, Survival Supplies for You, and just go to the category blogs, and you can read all about this and other things that we think will help you. You can also like our page on Facebook, where we have tips on emergency preparedness, and you can also find out about our adventures as we try different products or even pretend that we're in an emergency disaster for several days and see how we fare. Learn from our mistakes and learn from our successes. We don't want you to go through those same things and have those problems and not be prepared.